feel guilty, like even though I know I'm not the reason this failed, I feel like I'm the reason this failed. Like I'm the one who called quits.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to upset people. I'm a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Always have been, to a fault. So.
Yet, here you are, and you're sticking to your decision to do what's best for you. And I think you should acknowledge that, Even if you are a people pleaser, I think you're taking a step or a stand in saying that this is your life and this is your decision and you're sticking by it.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel? Kind of scared or?
Honestly, right now, I don't know what to feel. I feel like I'm scared, angry, upset, guilty, just all of these emotions thrown into one, and I feel like a blob of hotness right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm hiding behind all this and faking my way through everything right now, and I just don't know how to react to anything.
Yeah. I mean, that can't be a very comfortable feeling,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe what might help you feel better is if we set some plans in motion, that might give you a little bit of direction.
Mm-hmm.
We had said maybe some goals that we could set up together.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about that?
I mean, I guess it's worth a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't harm, right?
Okay. So we had already spoken about maybe getting involved with some community activities, even though I know you said it would make you feel scared or perhaps judged.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you'd be able to maybe pick one thing a week to go to?
I feel like it feels a little frequent to start out with.
Okay, so we can do. What are you comfortable with?
Maybe one every 2 weeks.
One every 2 weeks?
So it's 2 things a month?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I could start out with that. And
What kind of activities do you enjoy?
I don't know. Are we talking community or things at school?
Well, I think in the beginning it can be as broad as you'd like. It can be through community, it can be through work, it can be an online activity that you
I can get
find.
behind online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm ready to go yet.
In person? Okay, so what kind of online activities do you think?
I don't know, maybe an online book club.
Online book club? You like to read?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so how about we can make a goal of doing an online book club? Maybe even just come to terms with that idea this week, and when you come back next week, we can have maybe some information on some online book clubs that exist.
Mm-hmm.
I know, so I'm personally involved in a book club, and it's all females. Would you feel more comfortable maybe at this time if it was all women?
Yeah, I don't feel like I could talk to guys right now. I just don't trust them.
Yeah. So maybe we'll look towards some female-oriented activities.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so another goal, I think that might help with you feeling maybe a little less lonely and a little less scared and a little less guilty is working with your husband and setting a date to tell the family about the decision for divorce.
I don't know how well that's going to go over.
Mm-hmm.
He's still trying to talk me out of it. So I don't think he wants to tell them because I think he hopes that we can rekindle this, but I just don't think we can. And I'm not sure. I don't think that's something that we could set a date on.
Right. So are you feeling at this time, you said I don't think we can. Does that mean that there is still maybe a slight possibility, or are you're certain that you will not?
I'm fairly certain I won't, but in the same respect, I always told myself I would never get divorced. Once you marry me, you marry me.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people back out too easily, but I feel like this is a severe offense to our marriage.
Yeah. It sounds as though you really value the vows that you took during marriage, and marriage was very serious.
Mhm.
Means a lot to you. Did that add to kind of maybe the hurt of the betrayal because your husband knew how much, the vows and the values that come with marriage mean to you?
Yeah, a little bit. I just also think I don't know, when I think back to the vows we took and the value in marriage itself, he kind of just gave up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're gonna not follow your vows and do that, you give up on the vows, on the idea of marriage. So I just don't understand how, it could change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we can put that goal maybe in the long-term goal, right? We don't need to do it next week. We don't need to do it the week after that. But maybe put it in the back burner, but have it in our mind that eventually that conversation will take place,
Mm-hmm.
and the process will begin, and the family will be notified.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Another third thing I wanted to go back to was that you had mentioned that you're just drinking a little bit more than you normally had. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you said that causes you some concern, but you feel as though you have like a manageable hold on it for the moment.
I guess so. I mean, I haven't resorted to wine ice cream yet, so that's always a good thing.
Wine ice cream? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a new thing. They've got wine ice cream now and wine for your cats. I mean, I haven't bought wine for my cats yet, so that's also a good thing.
These are positives, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I need to start keeping track, maybe, of how much I'm drinking to see a pattern.
Yeah. Do you find it easy to drink a lot and then the next morning you realize that you actually had more than you had thought that you had?
Not really. I've never feel anything the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I drink quite enough.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that you would be blacking out, but you kind of just drink. It comes easier to drink more each time a little bit, or no, not really?
I'm not sure. Kind of just, I'm a person that if it's in front of me, I'm gonna eat it or drink it. I don't know.
So I think, if it's in front of you, you're gonna eat it or you're gonna drink it.
Yeah.
So maybe
I just have too easy access to it.
Yeah. So something maybe you could just so you said keep track of. You could just buy maybe like one bottle of wine a week. No, I mean a bottle of wine. Probably more than that in a week for even just anybody. But like maybe 2 bottles of wine a week, and then that'll help you keep track of it. Maybe buy them on a Sunday, and you just don't buy any more until the next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that will kind of just help you keep track of how many glasses of wine you're drinking.
I've definitely cut back since I've been having about a bottle a day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not quite a bottle a day, but probably like 4 or 5 in a week.
Do you think you'd be able to cut down to 2, or do you want to maybe slowly?
I mean, it's good to start somewhere. If it doesn't work out, I can always reevaluate. But I feel like if I tell myself I'm actually drinking more than that, I kind of feel like an alcoholic over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you had said alcoholism runs in your family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with whiskey being the big culprit. But I don't drink that. That's nasty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe this isn't something that's causing great concern, but we'll just keep an eye on for the next weeks or couple weeks that we're together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so we spoke about her impending divorce, the infidelity, the difficulty of telling your children, your parents, they're aging. How does kind of processing all of this at once, how are you feeling at this moment?
I don't know, I knew all this was going on, but it was a lot to take in at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed right now and realizing I got a lot more going on than I thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just trying to concentrate and figure out what needs to be done with what issue, and just, I don't know, trying not to go crazy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think these homework assignments and these goals will help?
I hope so.
Okay.
If they won't, what will?
Right. I mean, I know, as you said, you feel overwhelmed, but this is a great step in the right direction. You know, you're acknowledging that, like you said, it was difficult to acknowledge that a helper needs help, but, you know, you're taking the first step. You're in counseling. We're creating goals together. And I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but you seem like a pretty strong person to me.
You're right. It doesn't feel like it. But, I don't know. I guess it's something to work towards. I guess I need to rediscover myself. And relearn who I am with everything changing.
Yeah. I mean, that might be a difficult process.
Yeah. I think it will be. I think all of this is a difficult process that's going to take time. But I guess time heals everything. Is that a saying? I feel like it's a saying.
It's a saying, yeah.
Okay. I'm not crazy. Good to know. Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like to address before the session concludes?
I don't know. So my goals were to attend an online book club twice a month.
Well, what we're going to do is gather some information about some book clubs, and we can bring them to the next session and maybe pick one that you feel most comfortable with.
So research before I join.
This week we'll just be researching that.
Okay. And then eventually have a long-term goal of telling my kids. I feel like there was one more, but I don't remember what it was.
It's the wine.
We're gonna 2 bottles of wine a week.
If that's what you feel comfortable with. I mean, I just kind of picked that number. You know yourself better than I do. Or maybe even just keeping like a tracking log of how much you're drinking and just keeping an eye on it, you know. Because you seem a little concerned, you know, knowing your family history, and you're obviously aware that there's been an increase. So, I mean, I think it's great that you're aware of it, and that you're taking kind of a step and stopping it before it becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope it doesn't become an issue. So, but I can also see how it went. It's a difficult time to go through, and I just don't want to rely on alcohol. I think I might need to find a new way to cope outside of wine.
Yeah. Which maybe this book club will help you. You know, you'll be reading, maybe meeting people. And you said you don't think that you're ready to meet people outside. You'd rather do it on the internet. You know, do you see a time when maybe you will feel more comfortable?
Maybe in the future. I feel like I need to start somewhere, and I don't think starting with random people I don't know in person is going to be helpful.
Right. Because you had said earlier, you know, it's been 21 years since you've been on your own, so I don't think anyone expects you to feel comfortable right now. You know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, these are some good goals to start towards.
Great. All right, so we can focus on how often we're going to meet each other. Once a week, right? Okay. So this time works for you? Sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will see you next week. And it was great, you know, getting to know you and talking about some future goals. All right.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.